All right, this is a story, but it's sort of like a parable, and maybe it's even a little bit of a joke. You'll decide what it is. The story goes like this. It comes to show what is a Jew. What is a Jew? So once upon a time, made up story. Once upon a time, there was a Jew. His name was Stanley. And this Stanley, he loved attention. He loved attention. And, he learned in the yeshiva, he was a religious person, but he didn't get the attention that he thought he deserved. He would tell a joke, not everybody would laugh. He wanted to make an intelligent comment. No one would listen. People would interrupt what he said. And one day, it happened to be he met a priest. Maybe he was sitting on a park bench anyway. So priest got him into a conversation, and he started saying, "Oh, the priest laughed at every joke he said, every word that his philosophical ideas he enjoyed." He said, "Why I have to bring you? Come someday to the head priest. He'll really enjoy what you have to say." So this young man says, "Oh, finally I'm having the effect in the world that I really deserve." So he brings him to the bishop or whatever it is, and the bishop asks him questions, and he gives him, the bishop thinks this is just wonderful. He laughs. And this, of course, the whole thing was a big trap, flattering this young man into insanity. So he thought that this, little by little, they got him to stay overnight, and they got him to eat with them, and everybody was laughing, and this, until finally he said, "What have I got with these religious Jewish people? What did they ever give to me? Nothing whatsoever, you know." And not only that, what is this Judaism business anyway? And he left the whole business, and he became a priest. He became a priest. He went into a monastery, and the bishop loved him. But the other monks that were there eventually, after they finished their tricks with him and pretending they liked him, so he was already part of them. The fact is, they hated his guts. They couldn't stand him. He always had some clever thing to say, and always some sort of a complaint or some sort of a correction to make. And he was always talking. He was always seeking attention. Always this. And they hated him. So they figured they're going to spy on him and get him to. He must be doing something wrong. So they bored little tiny holes in the walls, and they put these little cameras there, little peepholes to see, not cameras, peepholes to see what he's doing, watching. So they watch them and they watch them and watch them. They figure he has to stumble somehow or other. So sure enough, they see he goes into his room. They see that every Friday he goes into his room and he closes the room up, locks it up really well. So they figured he must be doing something in there. He's locking the room too much. And so they bored a couple other holes so they could see from the corners. And sure enough, what did they see? That he goes in the room and he looks around. And he looks around to see that there's nothing there. He looks behind the pictures and behind this, and no one's looking. And he opens up the drawer and he takes out a pulke, a chicken leg. Now it used to be, I don't know if it's that way anymore, but in the Catholic Church, it was forbidden to eat meat on Fridays. Huh? There's still such a thing like that. Anyway, whatever it is, they didn't eat meat on Fridays. So this guy, he liked to eat meat. So every Friday, he couldn't resist it. So he would open up this little drawer that he had, and he'd take out a little box, and maybe it was he had ice in it or something like that. Anyway, and he would take out a pulque, and he would eat the pulque. He would eat the pulque is a leg of a chicken. He'd eat it. He would eat it, and he would hide the evidence somehow or other, and then in the morning he would throw it in the garbage. So they figured, we got him. So they went to the bishop and they said, "Your Highness, we saw Brother Stanley eating meat on Friday." And the bishop said, "It cannot be. Can't be such a thing. I know him. His integrity is impeccable. There's no way that he would do a thing like that. He knows all the laws. He knows that you're making a mistake. And I know how much you hate him. And you're just making it." And so they realized that they're not accomplishing anything. And so the next Friday, one priest hides under the bed, one hides behind his drapes, another one hides behind another chest or something like that. And sure enough, Brother Stanley comes in, and he locks the door, and he opens up the cupboard, takes out the piece of meat, and he puts it in his mouth, and he eats it. Just as he's about to pull the bone out and leave the meat, they jump out from behind, tie him up. They have a special gag that they put on. They were hoping for this, that has a little hole in it, put it over his mouth like that with the bone sticking out. And they tie it around the back, tie his hands, tie this, and they open up the door, they take him to the bishop. And they say, Your Majesty, the bishop, here it is. It's got a big bone. He's eating, you see that he's eating meat. Today is Friday, he's eating meat. So the bishop says, oh, yeah. So Stanley's going, So the bishop says, release him. And they say, Your Majesty, Your Holiness, don't listen to what he says. He's tricky. This is, according to the script, he's got a right to defend himself. No. You see that he's and so he says, let's see, defend himself. So they take off the thing, and he takes out the bone, swallows the meat, just to be sure. And he says, Your Highness, Your Holiness, I did not eat meat. It wasn't meat. So all the priests that are on said, oh, wow. Whoa. Look at that. How? Yeah, that's insane. How can you say it? And the bishop says, my son, the evidence is very strongly against you. I mean, I would really like to believe you. You know how much I care for you, but I saw with my own eyes. It was meat. You're holding the bone in your hand. It was meat that you swallowed. He said, I want to explain. Let me explain. Said, you remember that glorious day that I changed my religion, and you took me into the holy room, was the holy water, and you took the holy the brush, and you put it into the holy water, and you sprinkled the holy water on me 3 times and said, you are a Catholic, you are a Catholic, you are a Catholic. Do you remember that? The bishop said, of course I remember. I did it myself. I said, well, that's what I did. I took this meat, and every Friday in the morning, I take it down to the holy room, and I take from the holy water with the holy brush, and I say, you are a potato, you are a potato, you are a potato. So I wasn't eating meat, I was eating a potato. What's the point of the story? That just as a piece of chicken cannot become a potato no matter what, so a Jew cannot become a non-Jew no matter what. He's always a Jew. And that's what Mashiach will make everyone reveal. And also reveal that chicken is more tasty than being a potato. There's nothing wrong with eating chicken. Nothing wrong with being a Jew. And that's where the metaphor ends. Have a good day with Mashiach now, that we should all reveal who we really are and be happy and proud and defiant and successful and I say influential, to influence others, that they also should be who they are, creations of God himself, created in God's image, and make this world a beautiful, wonderful place with Mashiach now. And he should also take revenge on all of the Jews that have been senselessly murdered through the generations, including our generation right now. Make a happy world, a good world, a world that's filled with only love. Mashiach now. Have a good day. See you all tomorrow at 8:15 in the morning.
Thank you so much. Great story.
My pleasure. Yeah, I like the story.